Plus, we talk to the Post reporter on his story on foraging in Appalachia.
And in sports, the Bobcats look for an upset in tournament play. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Juliana Colant. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. Families there are still searching for answers more than a month after the East Palestine train derailment.
Catherine Ross has the story on the resource fair the EPA just hosted.
Thursday night, a lower turnout than past events, but still many questions remaining.
There's a lot of fear about where do we go from here? What do we do this summer? Can he play outside? Can we plant a garden? Are we going to be able to sell our house one day?
Gia DeLisio and Brandon Wiley brought their 3-year-old to the resource fair at East Palestine High School, hoping to get some answers. But after more than a month of evolving information and advice about what to do in the wake of the fiery derailment, mass evacuation, and controlled burn, they tell us they're overwhelmed and confused.
There's a lack of trust there and just not knowing what to do going forward.
Thursday, DeLisio and others are getting the chance to ask one-on-one questions of the Health Department, EPA, CDC, and Norfolk Southern.
We wanted to make sure all agencies and organizations that have anything to do with the recovery of this incident are present. In addition to Norfolk Southern, it was important for them to be here.
The conversations here are happening just hours after the railroad company's CEO testified in Congress, vowing to make it right for East Palestine. But many here are reluctant to believe it.
I still think that corporate greed is at the root of this problem.
It's just all being regurgitated over and over and over again.
Dana Linger is here from a neighboring community to tell Norfolk Southern and other agencies that Negley needs help too.
When the burn happened, all the fumes that are heavier than air sunk down to Negley. All the water coming from Palestine goes through Negley, and their wells are all really shallow there.
The EPA says it's going through protocol to ramp up air, water, and soil testing.
Now that we have the wider area to look at, we have to make sure that any sampling and testing we're doing is done properly.
Some tell us they're glad to see ongoing efforts, but uncertain what they could mean in the long run.
It's nice seeing them in town. It's good to know that things are happening, but you just don't know if at the end of the day this is all going to come out like, wow, remember that crazy year, or if this is going to be a lifelong battle for our property values and our health and our town in general.
200 miles away. New details out of Springfield, Ohio from Norfolk Southern. They say loose railcar wheels may have caused the trail derailment there. During cleanup of the March 4th wreck, the company found a specific model and series of railcars had loose wheels, which could cause a derailment. The incident is still under investigation, but Norfolk Southern said it immediately reported its findings to the National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Railroad Administration. The company has ordered to remove those cars from service until their wheel sets can be fully inspected and replaced. The weather has taken a turn toward the cold this week. Forecaster Emily Dietz is here to tell us more.
Good evening, Athens. Currently, we're looking at 38-degree temperatures with some light snow, winds moving around 16 miles an hour, creating for those chilly conditions that we saw today, and that rain we saw periodically throughout the day really did not help. As you can see, those little pop-up showers throughout the day today really creating those light mist, light rain conditions that we saw, whereas to the north of us really took the brunt of that heavy precipitation in the area. Over the past 24 hours, we can see temperatures in the Athens area and the surrounding area range from the 30s up to the 40s since those overcast skies really kept those temperatures cool. Athens today, we saw a 46-degree high with a 28-degree low with a 50% chance of rain possible throughout the day beginning early today, Friday, and continuing throughout the night. Athens tonight, we can expect an overnight low of 28 degrees with a 40% chance of snow possible. Since we have those temperatures dropping below freezing, that's where we're getting that percent chance of snow. However, that snow will likely not stick since the ground has been warm enough for a while. Thank you, and back to Juliana.
Thanks, Emily. The West Virginia Senate passes a bill to allow baby boxes as safe surrender locations in the state. Under the bill, a baby box would be equipped with an alarm system to alert those on site that a child has been placed inside the box. The bill now heads to the House of Delegates due to changes made in the Senate. A bill signed into West Virginia law is being described by supporters as a tool to protect religious freedom, while LGBTQ rights advocates say it's a license to discriminate. The bill says the government can't substantially burden someone's constitutional right to freedom of religion unless doing so in a particular situation is essential to furthering a compelling governmental interest. Supporters say the bill is meant to protect all people against religious discrimination and is not aimed at any particular group. Opponents are concerned the bill could put non-discrimination laws that protect LGBTQ groups in jeopardy.
5 people are dead after a fire in Dayton, Ohio. Mike Campbell takes a closer look at the investigation into what may have caused it.
Losing one person is painful. Losing 5, of course, is more devastating.
Mayor Jeff Mims called the fire sad and tragic and asked for a moment of silence for the victims, even before talking about what happened on North Broadway Street.
You think about, again, those individuals had friends, they had loved ones, they had family members.
News Center 7 crews documented the incredible force of the flames that swept through here Wednesday morning. City officials revealed that this property contained 9 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, plus business space. Firefighters did try to go inside to check for victims.
The firefighters that made entry finally had to pull back because their helmets were melting. And so that's an incredible amount of heat.
Dayton Fire Chief Jeff Likens said the entire building was unstable and the conditions were non-survivable. It took them hours to knock down the flames. Then cleanup crews and firefighters began discovering victims in a building no one was supposed to be in. 5 bodies uncovered and carefully removed between noon and 9 p.m. Wednesday. City leaders revealed that a new owner purchased this property in 2022 for $70,000. The taxes were paid, but utilities like gas service had not been reconnected, and no one lived here or operated an active business. Dayton police did find 4 calls for service here since the new owners took over. 2 were alarm calls last year, and then in late February, reports of a possible burglary and trespassing 2 days apart.
It's important to note that officers did not encounter anyone at that time, but there were reports that that house had some activity in and out of it.
Several neighbors confirmed to us they had seen suspected squatters in the building many times. The investigation into who those victims are is just beginning.
Those individuals who were there maybe probably should not have been there. We're not at a point in time where we're trying to assess blame.
When we come back, we'll be joined by a reporter from The Post on his story on foraging in Southeast Ohio.
Thank you. This low pressure system moved over Ohio, what that means for us and more throughout the week when Newswatch returns.
The most dramatic moment of learning in my life happened in less than a second.
50 years ago, 5 scientists made a revolutionary discovery.
It was a flashbulb moment.
They learned how to heal a battered planet.
We've found the rules, how systems work, how the world works.
Join these unsung heroes as they tell their unique story of hope, one that will change the way you see nature.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
The economic alarms are flaring. The Fed is trying to stop inflation.
To those who point to the Fed and say you ran it too hot, you say what?
With the benefit of hindsight, I wish we had tightened sooner.
Higher interest rates will bring down inflation. They will also bring some pain to households.
We're now heading into what will be a new economic era.
It really is difficult to overstate how important this story is and how much it matters.
Premieres Tuesday, March 14th, 9, 8 Central, only on PBS.
On Finding Your Roots, actor Jane Lynch.
I'm learning more and more about what I've been imprinted with.
And comedian Jim Gaffigan.
There's something about resiliency.
Discrimination.
No Irish need apply. Unbelievable.
And hardships of immigration.
It's not this noble, romantic pioneer story.
Plus a DNA match.
You would never guess in a million years. You're a DNA cousin.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Why Chillicothe? Why this area? For some reason, this became a mecca for what was probably a religion, what we call Hopewell culture. We'll never know the reason that this was so important to certain people and why that developed. but it's certainly a beautiful place for it to have happened.
Foraging is growing in popularity among younger generations as audiences learn how the activity helps to save the environment. Appalachia is an especially fertile area for foraging, with local resources for interested people to get started. Joining us now is a reporter from the Post, Ohio University's independent, student-run newspaper. Trey Spencer is the senior writer at the paper and just published an article looking at foraging in Southeast Ohio. Thanks for joining us, Trey.
Thank you for having me.
So Trey, could you just tell me what foraging is?
Yeah, so foraging is a really cool way to get outside and connect with your local environment. And it's basically just a process where you collect fruits, vegetables, or mushrooms and things like that. And you can use those in a variety of ways, including cooking and other ways.
That sounds like a great way to get outdoors and get hands-on with your food.
Exactly.
So going a little bit deeper, could you tell me a little bit about the historical context of foraging?
Yeah, of course. So historically in this region, in Appalachia, European settlers like Daniel Boone foraged for ginseng, which is a plant that's mostly used in pharmaceuticals. And it brought a lot of economic value to the region because of its rarity, and it really got the region booming.
Oh, so I could see the historical importance that it played, but I'm curious, what is the importance of foraging in Southeast Ohio?
So specifically in Athens, we have a large influx of college students in a younger generation that's very interested in being environmentally conscious. And a lot of students are looking for more ways to connect with their environment, and foraging is a great go-to for that.
Oh yes, so speaking of environmental consciousness, I'm curious, with the context of foraging, what in your eyes is the biggest issue impacting the environment today?
Today, that's definitely climate change and reducing our carbon footprint. And I believe that there's a lot of things that we can do to do that, and foraging is a really great way to do that and to get started. And I think it's definitely the easiest because you can just go outside and find your own fruits and vegetables, and it's just a really easy way to lower your carbon footprint.
Oh, so finally, Trey, if somebody wanted to go foraging this weekend, what's something that they need to know?
They definitely should stay prepared. That's the first thing. So research local plants that are in the region and things that are edible. The second thing is definitely pretend like you're going on a hike, and definitely bring water and bring the right clothing. And the third thing is just to have fun.
Yes, having fun is the most important thing of all, isn't it? So that is all some great information. Thank you for sharing with us, Trey. If you want to read the full story, head over to thepostathens.com and take a look under the projects section. Now forecaster Emily Dietz joins me. Speaking of getting outside this weekend, Emily, do you think the weather's going to hold up for some foraging?
Unfortunately, the weather this weekend is going to stay about what we have today. We have the 38-degree temperatures with some light snow going on right now. Winds moving around 16 miles an hour, creating for those chilly conditions that we're seeing. That rain we saw today really cooled the air even more. As you can see from the past 24 hours, that low pressure system really moved in from the southwest area, bringing in that precipitation and that cold weather that we saw today and will continue to see into tonight. Today we saw temperatures reach a high of 46 degrees and a low of 28 with a 50% chance of rain possible. That rain was really in and out throughout the day with some light rain and some mist throughout the day. Our local radar is showing that over the past day we saw a couple pop-up areas of precipitation, really that light precipitation. However, to the north of us really saw most of this as that's moving into the Pennsylvania area. As you can see, our low pressure system is currently sitting over the Ohio area, and this purple band right here is what's called an occluded front. So right before this low pressure system hit Ohio, as it was sitting around in this area, it had a warm front attached with it and a cold front right behind it. And as that cold air mass moved toward the warm front, it met it since the cold air is moving a lot faster, and so that warm air is really raising up, and that cold air is staying in this dense air mass, which we are experiencing right now, which really brought in those clouds and rain. Athens tonight, we can expect an overnight low of 28 degrees with a 40% chance of rain snow. Since we are dropping below that freezing temperature, that's where we're going to see that 40% chance of snow. Athens tomorrow, we're expecting a temperature to reach a high of 45 degrees and a low of 29 with mostly cloudy skies as that rain is moving away from us. Tomorrow we can see nothing over the Ohio area. However, down in the Oklahoma, Texas area, a low pressure system begins to develop, and moving into Sunday, we can really see this low pressure system To the north of us is bringing some winter weather for our friends in the Midwest and some rainy weather for our friends to the south. And that's going to meet and come into the Ohio area, bringing some really rain area for southern Ohio and possibly some snow for northern Ohio. As you can see, Sunday, those temperatures are going to sit around 44 degrees, which will translate into rain showers, mostly a 70% chance of rain as that low pressure systems are moving into the area, and a low of 32. On Monday, we can see a 20% chance of rain or snow possible with 42-degree temperature highs and 24 temperature degree lows as those low pressure systems continue to move off of our area. Now looking at our 7-day outlook, once again, we can see that 20% chance of rain possible for Monday as that low pressure system really moves. And right behind that low pressure system is a high pressure system that will be sitting over the Dakota areas, really driving that low pressure system to create that linear system that's going to bring in all that precipitation into the area. As we move into Tuesday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a high of 38 degrees as that low pressure system moves away from us. And Wednesday, we'll see mostly sunny skies as that high pressure system moves into our area, raising temperatures a little bit to 48 degrees. And on Thursday and Friday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies and a 50% chance of showers as a new low pressure system develops, bringing in a warm front, bringing those 50, 60 degree temperatures that I know we're all looking forward to because that means spring. And thank you so much. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Emily. Mexican authorities arrested 5 people today in connection with the deadly kidnapping of 4 Americans last week. The Mexican drug cartel believed to be responsible for the attack that has allegedly released an apology letter claiming the members acted on their own. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
These are the 4 Americans who were kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico, where only 2 of them survived. The father of one of the victims killed, still trying to make sense of it.
That was hard for me to see those videos and see them drag and throw it on the back of the vehicle, you know. And it was like God was preparing me already to know that, you know, it was probably the worst.
According to images circulating online and a version of the letter obtained from an official familiar with the ongoing investigation, the cartel believed responsible has turned 5 of their own members over to Mexican authorities, along with making a public apology, saying in part, the Gulf Cartel Scorpion Group strongly condemns the events of last Friday, going on to say, for this reason we decided to hand over those directly involved and responsible for the acts who at all times acted under their own determination and in discipline and against the rules in which the Gulf Cartel always operates. The official says U.S. and Mexican authorities believe the letter is authentic but doubt the sincerity of the group's apology. U.S. Ambassador to Mexico Ken Salazar says he's proud of the law enforcement collaboration between both countries.
We have a very significant operation underway that will continue until we find those who are responsible.
Friday's arrest of 5 suspects brings the total to 6 people so far linked to the kidnapping and the deaths of 2 Americans. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Mexican authorities did not confirm if the 5 arrested today were the same 5 people the cartel claims it turned over to the police. The bodies of the Americans killed have been turned over to U.S. diplomatic agents, and the 2 survivors are back in the United States. President Joe Biden says the February jobs report from today is a sign of strong economic recovery. The Labor Department data showed the U.S. economy added 311,000 jobs last month. He said the biggest problem now for the economy is a plan by some Republicans to force the U.S. to default on its debt if Democrats and the GOP can't come to agree. Republicans in Congress voted to raise the debt ceiling 3 times in the Trump administration, during which time the U.S. debt increased by $7 trillion.
Coming up in sports, the Bobcats look for a deep run in the conference tournament. Find out how they match up after the break. And to stay up to date on the latest from Newswatch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
We've read The Hours, the book. We've seen The Hours, the movie. Now experience The Hours, the opera. In its acclaimed world premiere production from the Met, the phenomenal Renee Fleming, Joyce DiDonato, and Kelly O'Hara play women from different time periods facing their lives. Look for the Kevin Puts and Greg Pierce opera, The Hours, on great performances at the Met.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
the most dramatic moment of learning in my life happened in less than a second.
50 years ago, 5 scientists made a revolutionary discovery.
It was a flashbulb moment.
They learned how to heal a battered planet.
We've found the rules, how systems work, how the world works.
Join these unsung heroes as they tell their unique story of hope, one that will change the way you see nature.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Can you all live the ultimate retirement? You can.
Acclaimed personal finance expert Susie Orman provides essential advice to make your retirement more successful and secure.
Every little action that you take can make a tremendous difference. It's never too soon to begin. Fear no more.
Susie Orman's Ultimate Retirement Guide.
Sunday at 4:30 on WOUB.
Welcome back. I'm Jack Demler. The Ohio Bobcats are looking to claw their way through the Mid-American Conference Tournament with hopes of punching their ticket to the big dance. Ohio opened the conference tournament against the same team they eliminated last season, the Ball State Cardinals. After finding themselves down by as much as 6 points early, the Bobcats took over and dominated the rest of the way, winning 90-70. A big part for that domination came off the bench from freshman A.J. Brown, who finished with 28 points. Head coach Jeff Bowles spoke to what he likes most from A.J. Brown's play.
Just proud of him for really staying positive. His attitude's been unbelievable. He's a phenomenal young man, great family, and at some point we knew he was going to do this, and he's going to be a great player for us.
The Bobcats are currently in action against the top-seeded Toledo Rockets, who caged the Bobcats earlier in the regular season. Ohio currently finds themselves trailing the Rockets 64-56 with 4 minutes left in the second half. Winner of this game will meet the winner of Akron versus Kent State in the MAC championship. The Ohio baseball team's losing streak continues after its 5th straight loss. The latest stumble came earlier today in the conference play opener against Bowling Green. The Bobcats opened scoring thanks to a solo shot off the bat of Alec Patino in the second inning. The Falcons respond with 3 runs in the next inning, and Patino took that personally. A 2-run home run in the fourth tied it with 4 innings to go, with 4 in the fourth inning, The Bobcats take the lead 2 innings later, courtesy of Colin Kasper-Bauer's RBI single. But just as the Bobcats were ready to end their home opener with a win, the Falcons' Adam Fallon delivered not 1, but 2 solo home runs to push the Falcons ahead 5-4. Ohio suffered its 5th straight loss and starts MAC play 0-1. Inclement weather is on the horizon, so the Bobcats will play 2 games tomorrow to wrap up the series against Bowling Green. First pitch of Game 1 is expected for 1 o'clock, and Game 2 will take place 40 minutes after Game 1 ends. The Ohio softball team came into today looking for a win to open the Tennessee Tech tournament. The Bobcats were nothing shy of dominant. Ohio matched up against Robert Morris in Game 1. The Bobcats built a 4-run lead through the first 4 innings. Analia Paoli sent in the 5th run in the 5th inning, one of her 3 RBIs. Robert Morris cracked the scoreboard in the 6th, but Ohio was not done pouring it on, adding 3 more runs in the 7th for an 8-1 win. The Bobcats carry this momentum into Game 2 against Tennessee Tech. The Golden Eagles found the scoreboard after 2 scoreless innings, but that would be it for Tennessee Tech. Ohio scored 4 unanswered for a 4-1 victory. The Bobcats wrap up the Tennessee Tech tournament tomorrow. Ohio faces Robert Morris at 11 a.m. and Tennessee Tech at 4:30. The Bobcats then come home to host Miami for their home opener. And guys, heading back to OU basketball, there's not much time left, but there's a lot of fight in this team, so there's a lot to be expected of this Bobcats team as we narrow down the final minutes of the MAC tournament.
Yes, I'm really hoping that they're able to pull it through this game.
Jack, I'm biting my nails. I am biting my nails. I'm hoping the Bobcats can pull through tonight. That's for certain.
Yes, and then maybe even get a chance at the MAC championship, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jack. We'll be turning our clocks forward this Sunday for daylight savings, how you can prepare before the time jump. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano explodes,
Would you get away from there?
turning paradise into a raging inferno.
Like a fire-breathing dragon.
Toxic gas and rivers of lava.
Oh my God.
Can scientists unlock its mysteries before the next catastrophic eruption?
Insane.
Kilauea, Hawaii on fire on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
The economic alarms are flaring. The Fed is trying to stop inflation.
To those who point to the Fed and say you ran it too hot, you say what?
With the benefit of hindsight, I wish we had tightened sooner.
Higher interest rates will bring down inflation. They will also bring some pain to households.
We're now heading into what will be a new economic era.
It really is difficult to overstate how important this story is and how much it matters.
Premieres Tuesday, March 14th, 9, 8 Central, only on PBS.
We've read The Hours, the book. We've seen The Hours, the movie. Now experience The Hours, the opera. In its acclaimed world premiere production from the Met, the phenomenal Renee Fleming, Joyce DiDonato, and Kelly O'Hara play women from different time periods facing their lives. Look for the Kevin Puts and Greg Pierce opera, The Hours, on great performances at the Met.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
Lucy Ware Webb was born here. As a young lady, as the wife of the governor, as the wife of the President of the United States, she's always the same person. Just a terrific lady. As residents of Chillicothe, we're very, very proud of her. To have a person of that character to represent this community, small as it is, in the White House.
And for our final story tonight, daylight savings time starts on Sunday. Your clock will spring forward an hour at 2 a.m. and experts say that extra light might make it more difficult for your body to prepare for sleep. They suggest adjusting your body by moving up your bedtime by 15 minutes to help get yourself set on the new time. Maintaining a consistent sleep schedule and wake schedule and not napping during the day, turning off that technology at night and limiting caffeine in the afternoon, as well as avoiding alcohol before bed may also help. Now we're going to have a final look over with Emily to our final weather.
Thank you. Athens, tonight we can expect an overnight low of 28 degrees with a 40% chance of rain, snow showers, as we have that rain that we saw throughout the day today linger in the area. Now looking at we can see that low pressure system that moved over the Ohio area that really brought those cold temperatures and those clouds that we will continue to see into the night. Athens, tomorrow we can see mostly cloudy skies from that remaining rain showers and temperatures reaching a high of 45 degrees and a low of 29. On Sunday we can see these two low pressure systems meet, bringing us some rain on Sunday. At our 7-day outlook, we can see once again those 70% chance of rain showers on Sunday and those 44-degree temperatures dipping down into the 30s from Sunday through Wednesday, and those temperatures will begin to rise again as we move into Thursday and Friday.
I don't know about you all, but I'm ready for that cold weather to be out of here.
No kidding. Spring break?
Yes,
I'm ready for the sun.
I'm ready for the sun.
For sure.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Juliana Colant.
And I'm Morgan Anderson. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a great night.
Donating your old car, motorcycle, or truck helps support public television, and it may get you a pretty nice tax deduction, too. Plus, we make donating your car easy. Just call our toll-free number or visit us online.